Why couldn't things be the way they were before? If you ever found yourself thinking this, then this video might help. The book Who Moved My Cheese tells a story about two little mice and two little humans who run a maze every day. And at the end of the maze, they find a chunk of cheddar cheese as their reward. Every day the mice would run this maze to get to the cheese. But the humans think they're smarter than the mice. So what they do is they settle their homes next to the cheese. That way every day they don't have to run that maze, and they'll wake up, see the cheese, and then go back home. Over the days, the humans realize that they're proud of their cheese because they can just access it quickly. They don't have to run the maze every day like the mice. Until one day, the cheese disappears. The mice who run the maze every day run to that end, don't see cheese, so they run somewhere else. And after a few days of doing this, the mice suddenly are never heard from again. The two humans, though, realize that they're starting to starve. One of the humans doesn't want to leave his home and go search somewhere else. The reason why is he doesn't know what's out there. He doesn't want to waste his time knowing that there's nothing out there. What if there's no other cheese? Not only will he waste his time, but he'll be starving and he'll be lost. And after a few days, the other human is tired of being starving. So what he does is he puts on his shoes, leaves the house, and starts looking. He finally comes upon an end of the maze with a gigantic pile of cheese. And it's not just one cheese that the other maze end had, but this one had different types. All these different cheeses. And what he noticed was he saw the two mice there, stuffing their faces, and he joined them. Change isn't easy to handle, but it's almost always guaranteed in some way. The question is, how do you handle it? Now, the book Who Moved My Cheese has a lot of lessons in it, but there are 3 specific quotes that I found that are very powerful that could help you. The first one goes, "The old cheese is not the only cheese." We tend to think of life as a zero-sum game. And what that means is that if there's a pie in life, if we don't get a slice of it, we won't get any at all. But life doesn't really work that way all the time. Instead, we should think of life as a bigger pie. If we don't get a slice of the smaller pie, then we can get a slice of the bigger pie. This applies to the dating life as well. When we lose a relationship or someone breaks up with us, we think that we don't have any other possibility for love in any other relationship. But there are billions of other people in the world. It's highly possible some of those could be a good match for you. The second quote from the book that could help you is that, what do we need to let go of and what do we need to move on to? We tend to cling on to old ideas, like the little human staying at the house thinking that the cheese will come back. When instead, we should let go of some of the old ideas that don't help us and are not beneficial. So when things change in life, we never stop to think, maybe there's something in our thought process that's completely wrong. And I'm going to focus on this a little more later. The third quote from the book that could help you is that, perhaps the old cheese is just old behavior. What we really need to let go of is the behavior that is the cause of our bad relationship. How this can help us is that maybe it takes a lot of personal inventory, but we need to realize that maybe some of our actions are triggering other people to do things that we don't like. There's a Descartes quote that could help us here, and it addresses the philosophy of life so that we can change the way we think, and that life changes won't affect us as immediately or as deeply as they do. He says that in order to determine whether we can know anything with certainty, we have to doubt everything we know. When I first heard that quote on How I Met Your Mother, I thought it was a pretentious philosophical quote said by people so that they could sound enigmatic and intelligent. So I quickly disregarded it. What I didn't realize is that they were powerful instructions on how to live your life so that you don't get strongly impacted when things change. If you struggle when big things in life change, then it's probably because you've developed a comfort zone for yourself in the habits and life that you live. So when life changes, with relationships or with work, you have trouble adjusting because it's uncomfortable to find that new zone for you. And the most difficult part is to shift your thoughts and beliefs because a new identity has to arise from it. So how do you prevent something like this from happening in the first place? Well, what if I told you the things that you're believing are completely wrong? In movies, when we see the villains have an incorrect belief, we're in on it and we know they're wrong. But if you were wrong and didn't know it, this is what John Truby, author of Anatomy of Story, calls the lie they believe. In the Infinity War movie, Thanos believes that he's the savior of the universe, and that if he eliminates half the population of the universe now, then the future will be bright and he'll be seen as a savior.
They would all cease to exist, and I call that mercy.
But the heroes believe you don't trade lives. You can't sacrifice the lives now for lives in the future. So we know Thanos' beliefs are wrong. He believes in his lie, and he's lied to himself for so long, he believes it as well. He believes that life is a zero-sum game, and that if he gets rid of half the universe, the resources available will be available for the other half. What he doesn't realize is if he made the pie bigger, then everybody can have a share of that larger pie. There's a what if episode that shows what would happen if Thanos was actually corrected. In this alternative reality, Thanos is corrected in his beliefs, and instead he shifts his entire identity and becomes a hero. Maybe the people in my life absolutely hate me, and they're just pretending to be nice with me so they could use me. Maybe there's something that I believe, and I've based my entire life around it. And this belief is a complete lie. Maybe I misunderstood it or didn't even know all the facts. It's possible what we believe is entirely wrong. Now there's a thought exercise that can help you a lot here. And I'm a big fan of thought exercises because not only do they tell you other ideas that could possibly come up, but it teaches you how to think in a different way that can help you reorient your beliefs and values. And in this thought exercise, you take stock of everything you believe, especially the things that you don't even think about questioning. And what you do is you invert them. Try to find ways in which there are flaws in the ways you think. For example, if you believe everybody loves you, everybody adores you, and everybody wants to be around you, take that belief and invert it. What if everybody hated you, nobody liked you, and nobody wanted to be around you? How would you handle that? And what would you think about it? These are the things that help you solidify what is actually fact and what is actually a lie that you keep telling yourself. So when I heard that Descartes quote again, I finally understood what he meant. Not everything that we know is fact. Sometimes there are lies that we tell ourselves and we actually believe them. You have to take everything that you believe and start to question each and every single thing. That's the only way you know for sure what's fact. And if you question things, then when something changes in life, it won't become such a shock to you that you start arguing, you start getting angry, you start getting irritated with it. Because you're already aware things can change, especially your beliefs. What do you guys think? How do you handle change in life? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, guys, be healthy.